it was really helpful for me to understand the difference between what I call biblical anxiety and biological anxiety. So, God gave all of us a fight or flight response that is naturally triggered when we experience a threat. And, in the past, that threat might have been a tiger, but today it might be someone at a business or a party giving you a look that you think, uh-oh, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? We experience social threats and even self-criticism in the same way that we do physical threats. And so it's inevitable that our fight or flight system is going to get set off and we're going to experience anxiety. And God understands that. He's not upset with us for it. He's not saying, what is the matter with you? Why is this still happening when you love me and trust me? You've seen me be good to you. Instead, he's saying, you're human, and I wired you with an alarm system to keep you alive. So when the Bible says don't be anxious or don't be afraid, when I looked, it's almost always spoken to someone who is already afraid. So we hear it as a rebuke, but when you look at it in context, it's actually a reassurance. So when God is inviting us to not be anxious, that word actually means living in a state of anxiety. And none of us want that. So he's not saying don't ever feel anxious. He's saying when you do, don't stay there. Come with me out of that. I will lead you out of that with compassion and grace and gentleness. And please feel free to get whatever help and support you need in practical ways too. But I think that's really helpful for us to understand that anxiety is inevitable and God has deep compassion for it, but we get to choose what we do with it, whether we control it or it controls us.
Well, so on that topic, that segues really well to my next question for you. How do we not allow it to control us? What are some practices that if somebody's feeling anxious, even in this very moment, what's something that he or she could do?
Yeah, I think the first step is what we just talked about, because when we go into shame or guilt, that actually heightens our anxiety. We experience that as an additional threat. So pausing just to say, I'm anxious, greeting it with curiosity rather than condemnation, and saying, okay, nervous system, you're trying to keep me safe. What might be going on here? Just pausing and greeting it with curiosity and then saying, okay, I'm nervous because I have a big presentation coming up and I don't know how it's going to go. Or my kiddo is about to head off to the first day of school. Or I just saw a news headline that is really scaring me. And then pausing to say, what am I hearing inside? Am I hearing you're going to fail? Your kid's not going to be okay? The world is doomed? And if so, what is the truth that actually is in that moment, which is, you know what, my worth isn't in my work, or my kid's going to make mistakes and have hard times, but I'm going to help him get through it, and so is God. Or yes, there have always been hard headlines, there always will be, but I'm going to trust that God, who loves me, is still in control. So that replacement of truth, and then being kind to our bodies. A lot of times we do need a nap or a snack. We need to go outside for a minute. We need to text a trusted friend and saying, I'm really struggling right now. Can you pray for me? Or can we meet for coffee? So I think it's about taking what is the next small step that I can do in this moment that will not eliminate my anxiety. But if it's at an 8, how can I get to a 7.5? And then once I'm there, how can I maybe get to a 7? And if that feels impossible, where you're completely stuck, it's okay to reach out to a counselor, to a doctor, to say, what else might be going on here that's keeping me stuck in this place? So I think it's really about saying, instead of, I have to completely eliminate my anxiety all at once right now, or I don't have faith and I'm not a good person, to, I'm human, this happens. What's one small thing I need right now to help me just not get stuck here?